Hello YouTube, this is Robert with a Philosophical Gamer channel. Today we're playing Battlefield 2 Bad Company. Just figured it would be a perfect match for discussing love, which is like a battlefield, and hence dating in this day and age is a complete disaster zone, really. So, again, I'm, past the 30-year-old mark. Probably late 20s, early 30s is when one first realizes that if you're still single, dating becomes pure hell. Basically, you're past the age when you can hang out at the local nightclub and, typical watering hole where most people, in their younger years meet a potential partner in life. So, unless you want to be the guy who's there and seems like that creepy old man looking at the young ladies, or that old lady who hasn't realized that she's not 20 anymore and that she's just a cougar, and that most of the other people in the bar are probably laughing at her because no matter what she tries, she really doesn't blend in. Kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. If you don't want to be either of those people, that limits your options. You're stuck with options such as meeting people at work. Well, again, once you hit, about 30 years of age, you settle into more of a career. You don't want to kind of mess up where you spend your days. Just because if a relationship goes bad, then, well, you're going to have some rough times ahead, or you got to look for a new job. When you're younger, it's not so bad because you're more just job-oriented. You can just walk away from Burger King and get a job at McDonald's the next day. So, other than being set up by friends, which, trust me, is never fun, they'll try to set you up with people who have a nice personality rather than someone who's a good match for you. Unfortunately, that sends most people toward the online dating scene, which is a complete circus, really. There's only one good reason most people end up on online dating is just a pure lack of other options. So off the start, let's just rule out, especially on the side of guys, the ones who are just looking for a quick one-night stand, which is probably 60% of them. What you're left with is a whole mix of oddness, really. For example, from my own experience, and as always, that's what I speak from is my own experience, you run into a lot of different problems. Let's start with the first one on the list here is, well, online anything, you run to your fair share of just outright scams. For example, if you see a girl and the profile pictures are just too good to be true, a lot of very scantily clad, enticing ones, chances are it's true. They're usually just looking for some money or something similar, or get you to sign up for a website. Another good sign that you're looking at a scam profile is if a career is listed as in a plural form. They're not a dentist, they're dentists. They don't work in a pharmacy, they work in pharmacies. It's a pretty dead giveaway. If their grasp of English is so poor, again, probably a good scammer. Other than that, a lot of times when they list just that one photo that looks like it was cut out of a magazine, another dead giveaway. Or, they have some sob story about how they're far from home and they were trying to get back and they ran out of gas and they need help, or, something similar. Just had a divorce and they need help with a bill, and they'll love you forever if you just help them this once. Again, probably a scam. So, what's our big roadblocks we run into with the online dating world? I guess the next one would be just outright expectations. A lot of people, again, you hit your 30s, let's be honest with ourselves, your options are limited. You've missed the boat, you're kind of on the, back of the line here at this point. So you run into those ones that, they expect a lot from people. They want the perfect guy, that knight in shining armor, the guy who makes millions of dollars, yet at the same time they work at McDonald's part-time. What can you really expect at that point? Or, the ones who just don't have a good grasp of the English language. They're in their 30s, they have very little education, for example, using the letter U instead of the word you, or the letter R instead of R. Again, probably not a good match if you're even remotely literate. So, the other fun one, counter to that, is the ridiculously overeducated ones. These are the people who kind of put all the relationship and, marriage and children expectations completely on hold to get a better education. So now here they are with 1 or 2 or 3 PhDs, no social skills at all, and they look down on everyone as if they're lesser because they don't have multiple PhDs. But really, these people are kind of in a rough spot is because they've gathered knowledge but no social ability. So as a result, they just are stuck. Hopefully they'll find warmth with a nice book that they can curl up with, because really, what other options is there for them? Well, again, moving on, we have the issue of children. Myself, I'm again they're in my past the mid 30s, we'll say, and I still wouldn't mind potentially being able to have one or two kids yet before I give up. However, dating in your 30s, again, you run into a lot of people who have already had kids, and you got to learn to kind of give and take with that. So the ones you typically run into, for starters, are the ones who have four kids. Each one has a different dad, and it's not a good situation. Even a relationship where you're dealing with one other dad, yeah, that gets complicated. With four, well, guaranteed probably 2 to 3 of them aren't in the picture anymore, which means there's no support financially for those kids, which they're going to be looking to you to provide that. Not a good situation. They're clearly not long-term material, considering they can't even stay in a situation long enough to have, two kids with the same father. The other one that I found, not quite as common, but it does cause hindrances. The ones that were previously married, just left that relationship after being married for 10 or whatever years, and have had 4, 5, 6 kids with that previous man. Again, maybe I'm being picky, but someone who has 4 kids, it's pretty hard to get into that situation. Again, because if I push to have a kid or two of my own, that makes your family of 4 become 6 when it comes to kids, and that's a little much in my opinion, especially in today's economy. Like, good luck finding a house with enough rooms for 6 kids plus 2 adults. Not that there's anything wrong with the mother, that the potential dating person. I actually even did date a girl who had 3 kids, and it worked out moderately okay, despite other issues causing the collapse of the relationship. But again, it's almost as if you're trying to fill another person's shoes, whereas I'd want to come to a relationship as myself, not as a replacement. Again, maybe I'm being picky, who knows. The other one, and again, this one is maybe being too picky, but a lot of people, again, they start their lives a lot earlier than in their 30s. So you run into that group of women who had kids back when they were late teens, early 20s, so that now dating, they have kids who are over the legal drinking age already. Makes it a little hard in my opinion, because how can you somehow come into this family and be a functional normal family when there's a good chance I've gone drinking with these people before and didn't even know it. It just makes it a little awkward, when someone comes up to me in the bar and ask, say, "Hey, Pops, can you buy me a drink?" When I only met your mom 3 weeks ago. Like, back off, kid. Let alone if you get into a bar fight, then you got to deal with the mom yelling at you for that too. So awkward all around. Again, like, I don't have an issue with a woman who does have kids. I would just prefer a limited number, ideally, to begin with, and hopefully young enough where you could still kind of come into the somewhat parental type role, and easily kind of merge in, basically where the kid's young enough that they don't know you aren't their dad, sort of thing. You can kind of fill in that gap seamlessly without that dislike toward you automatically because, hey, you're not my father, stuff like that. So then another one, and I don't even know why these ones end up on the dating sites. I guess they're just lonely, but the ones that are just outright scared to commit. Basically, it comes from, they've probably had some bad relationships, probably, 2 or 3 in a row where the guy was less than ideal, probably abusive, very controlling, something like that. And as a result, they expect all guys to be like that. Now, the problem with that in my mind is, it's all right to feel that a lot of guys are that way, but once you come to expect it, then why do you bother looking? Because that's all you're going to find, because to you, a real man is a man who is controlling or abusive. As a result, anyone who doesn't fit that stereotype, you're just not going to take interest. You'll find some reason to shoot them down just to basically have them fit your ideal model of what a man should be, which is warped at that point. Or the ones who are just so horribly overcautious because they've been hurt again that they don't actually open up and take that chance. So as a result, you just kind of get led on. Well, I'm not ready yet. Maybe next weekend. Maybe next weekend. Again and again and again. It keeps getting put off, and there's just no progress. And then you realize it's never going to go anywhere because they're just too scared. Then there's ones, as well, very similar to that one, that just want to really chat. They don't want to ever really meet up. They always have an excuse. Not yet. I want to get to know you better, but they never really try. It's almost like they just want a pen pal, someone to say, "How was your day?" and that's it. And again, let's face it, we're not on a dating site to find pen pals. We're on a dating site to find dates. Really, it makes me think that maybe, throwing this out there if anyone wants to make it, like a pen pal website, or a, let's make friends website. And I'm doing that in the air quotes, of course, because there's actually a lot of women as well that do come on these dating sites just looking for new friends. Well, how are you going to make new friends? Because women on dating sites aren't going to be interested in chatting with you because they're looking for men to date, and the men are looking for women to date, not for friends. So you're going to run into people who say, yes, I would like to be your friend, but really they've got ulterior motives. Let's be honest with ourselves here. And then the last category you'd run into with that is just the ones who are looking for an ego boost. Now, these are those super pretty girls who probably even have a boyfriend, but they just love the people drooling over them. So they upload the pictures. They never really ever reply. Chances are they, will have the account for years and just read the messages, and that's it. And I'm pretty sure there's a few guys on there who do that too. I've known a couple of them myself. It's just nice for that ego boost. And what they do is they use it as a confidence builder so that they can go out elsewhere and pick up people. Because, hey, let's face it, if you don't have the confidence, you're not going to stand a chance. So they use that as their little booster, rather than alcohol or whatnot, to build a little courage, and off they go. So, nice and all, but again, you're just wasting everyone else's time. Just, makes it kind of annoying for all involved. So we got the outright lying that is prevalent on there. Let's start with, the obvious stuff. Weight. People who will take only the pictures of their face, not prefer not to disclose for their weight. Who are you kidding here? What's going to happen is the guy's going to meet you. If he's not into bigger chicks, you're going to get basically shot down in person. At least if you put it up front and foremost, got to give you some credit. One, that takes a lot of courage. Two, it shows a certain percentage of confidence in yourself, which can be very attractive on its own right. And then, most guys, again, if they're not interested, either won't even message you, or they'll shoot you down online, which, hey, let's take it with a grain of salt. It's online. Everyone is cocky when they're online. You can ignore it. But then there's the ones as well, who will just fib on it, like by instead of putting a few extra pounds, they'll put, or average for weight. Oh, come on. Like, when you're morbidly obese, that doesn't qualify as average. Again, you're not comparing against your group of friends. If you have a whole morbidly obese group of friends, doesn't mean you may beat the average for them, but we're talking the social norm here. So come on, let's be honest, because again, you're just wasting your time, you're wasting everyone else's time. Another fun one, and this kind of goes back to the intellectual conversation from before, is ones who are saying are looking for someone who's intellectual and, really connected and, into the arts and or whatever, likes to travel. And they try to paint this picture of this perfect, outgoing, well-seasoned gentleman that they want. Yet the only ones they ever reply to are the punk guys with their shirt off, taking a picture in a dirty bathroom mirror. So hypocritical. Like, come on, like, just be honest. I want a sleazeball who takes a picture in his mom's bathroom mirror. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Say what you want, that's what you'll get. I guess same go for guys. If you're just looking for one night stand, don't waste a girl's time by saying, hey, I'm a deep feeling guy who wants to settle down and walk on beaches. And no, I'm here for a quick lay. Done. There's plenty of ladies out there looking for it too. Let's just all be honest with one another and save everyone else some time. So again, sorry, my throat's a little bothering me today. I am actually just getting off of a cold, so I'm trying my best to keep her together. So if there's any, coughs and sneezes or whatnot that I forget to edit out, again, my apologies. I guess this kind of goes back to the weight issue a little bit here too. Is the ones that don't even bother uploading a picture. Now, again, physical attraction is a large part of why people appeal to other people. Now, the percentage of weight that holds from one person to another is different. But still, it does, let's not lie here, it does play a part. So when you don't upload pictures yourself, especially if you don't upload pictures and say prefer not to say for weight, it's a dead giveaway. You're probably, again, morbidly obese. And then that just also says your self-esteem level is so low that you won't even upload a picture, which, again, most guys won't even bother messaging you. If a guy does, chances are he's so desperate to get some action that he will take anything he can get. Again, is that the guy you want for a relationship? Probably not. So again, let's not waste each other's time. You end up with the same outcome, is that, the guy agrees to meet you for coffee or a drink or something like that, meets you in person. Is if you're completely not his thing, you're going to get, again, shot down in person. I'd rather just get ignored, honestly, and just have someone not reply. I'm not saying I'm, chiseled abs here, but again, I'd rather have a girl just take a look and go, nope, not interested, and just not bother replying to me, rather than, have some, stunning goddess of a woman meet me for coffee and like start laughing and run away. That would just be self-esteem shattering right there. Makes it a lot harder to move forward after that. Why can't people just be honest? Like, you're looking for, unless you're looking for a one-night stand, we're all out here looking for someone, ideally, I'm assuming, to spend the rest of our life with. So, why not be honest from the very start rather than, hey, let's, wait to see if this person is not horribly disgusted by me, and then we'll start being honest. Because I've actually run into one as well that will seem really awesome all through the, get to know you stage online. But then, right before you meet up for coffee, it's like, oh, by the way, I lied in my profile. My age isn't this, it's this. Now, a lot of these sites, you've got to verify it like 2 or 3 times before you finish creating your account. And your data, like when you were born, how old you are, stuff like that, that's something you generally have like embedded in your mind from a very early age. From like 3 or 4 years old, your birthday. That's it, it's done. So how can you pass 2 or 3 different verification points and still, oops, I punched in my birthday wrong repeatedly? Obviously, at that point, you're lying about your age for some reason. Either make yourself older to get older guys or older girls, or make yourself younger to get, the younger crowd or whatnot, or you're just so ashamed of your age that you don't want to admit how old you really are. It's, again, counterproductive. Like, why not just be honest? You want someone who's going to accept you for you, not you for what you claim to be, so why waste our time? Your time, my time, everyone's time. It just completely counterproductive, again. So as well, the other thing that I've noticed myself, and I've done my own little informal survey with me, and there's certain groups, now I'm speaking particularly about the women here. I haven't tried online dating for men, not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just not my thing. But now there's certain groups of women I've found that it's just better to avoid, because guaranteed they're going to be nuts. The first one on that list, actually the first 2 in this list, have one thing in common. They're very professional careers. Now, the people in these careers, especially women, tend to marry typically pretty young. Like, I'd say by 26, 27, is probably the average that they get married by. So for one of them to kind of hit the 30s mark and still be single and have no kids, and at first glance you think, hey, this one might be perfect, kind of, brand new territory type of thing. But the problem is, the reason why they've reached that point and haven't gotten married in such a prominent career is because they're nuts. Well, first one being nurses. They deal with a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, and it takes a toll on a person, I think, and especially if out a relationship to help you, keep you in line, like someone to vent to, someone to support you and help you through the rough times. So when you hit your 30s, when they hit their 30s, a nurse who's unmarried, no kids, chances are there's a good reason. Trust me, you want to stay away. I've seen way too many where they just completely off their rockers, nuts. Teachers are the other one, which are very similar. Again, typically they get married very early because it takes a certain mindset to want to deal with kids. Those people are usually the ones who want to have kids relatively early as well. So to find a teacher, again, in their 30s, no kids, never married, anything like that, they've probably gone crazy at that point because their entire social world at that point has been hanging around children. So like they're emotionally and mentally almost stunted at that point. Now, I could speak a little bit more for this one because actually my mother was a teacher and I've seen it in person with some of them, the ones that got married young and younger, I should say, like, early to mid 20s, had the kids, or even if they didn't have the kids, at least there was an adult around. Someone helped drag them out from their, the little rut that teachers get in where it's go to school, come home, mark papers, wake up, go to school. You have someone who's ideally in a different career field to drag you out, go party, go visit friends, go socialize, and lead an adult life, which I think would probably keep those ones sane. The other ones, again, I'm pretty sure they're a lost cause by that point. Those are the ones who become that twitchy, gray-haired teacher who's got way too many cats and maybe lives with her sister, probably has never seen a man other than their father, in the house ever. It's just weird all around. Well, the other one is just in general is realtors. Male or female, doesn't matter, but with my experience, female realtors, it's kind of cliche, but a lot of women will get divorced or separate from their husbands, and they jump into realty for some reason, because that's somehow in their mind the way to become independent and make a name for themselves. But usually they're just so almost desperate at that point. Like, it's just every relationship is almost like selling a house where they'll do anything to close a deal and everything, and they come off as needy or or demanding in some cases. And it just, again, unless that's your thing, I think it's better just to avoid that category altogether as well. Other than that, just general hints and clues that I've found that you generally want to stay away from. One, if a woman's profile pictures show her, with her latest kill, whether it be a deer, a duck, or whatever, unless you're hunting and you're a hunter and really into that stuff, again, stay away. Chances are this woman is probably more proficient with firearms than you are. Do you really want to risk pissing her off? I know I don't. Any profile for a lady that makes more than 3 references to wine, one of which is her profile name or username, then in her profile itself, and maybe a picture of her drinking wine in one or more of her pictures, again, you're dealing with a potential alcohol issue. I'd probably want to stay away from that. She's, masking her emotional issues with alcohol at that point. I've seen it way too many times. One reference is fine, a picture of her sipping some wine. Again, usernames in general referring to wine, stay away. So, other than that, the only other things you'd want to be afraid of is, if it lists career as either none in your 30s, come on, by that point you should have something locked down, or at least be able to come up with a reasonable kind of cover story in that regard. And again, I will admit, I think stay-at-home mom is an acceptable career. I'm not going to argue that one at all. But the ones who just put, have one for career, well, again, why are we not going to just start out being honest? It makes it easier for everyone. If you say you've got a career as a, let's say, for example, a tax accountant, and I can't stand tax accountants, well, look, you just are saving everyone some time and some effort. Otherwise, we start chatting, we get kind of connected, I realize, oh, you're a tax accountant, I'm out the door because I'm phobic of them. Anyways, that's my little rant about dating in your 30s, particularly the online dating. I'm going to go probably have a drink now and venture out into the world and maybe try to find a dive bar and meet the woman of my dreams there, or at least remind myself why I've continuing to wait, because good Lord, there's got to be something better out there. Anyways, this has been the Philosophical Gamer. Again, I'm Robert. If you like this conversation, please like and subscribe, so that way you can be updated on any of our new videos coming out. And please, if you want to share your opinion on this topic, leave a comment below. I would love to hear it and would love to bring it into the conversation. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you later. Goodbye.